I have recently become obsessed with the wealth of old and the luxury of today. Now you may be asking, what do I mean by that? Well, it all comes down to this. A piece of thread with something so important and ingrained in our human culture. What am I gonna use it for? A frog. Yeah, I'm gonna use it for a frog. Ah, there is the fabric kept with the gin. Do you not keep your fabric with the gin?
No.
I personally love embroidery. And I found black cotton, huzzah, which is a lot better than that crumpled mess. Embroidery adds that little bit of to a project. I just really like embroidery. Doesn't that look nicer? All folded, that's not calico, I don't know what it is, so why is it in the calico? She's speaking to me. Anyway, so what I was gonna say, this is not calico, don't know what that is. Baby bird. She does want attention. Hi, cream. There's a reason I want to learn embroidery. You have to bear with me for the reason, okay? And I have my fabric shears. Imagine you're walking down the street. You start to flip someone off, right? But if you're wearing gloves and you flip them off and there was just a frog on the end of your finger, elbowed someone in the face, and there's a frog on the end of your elbow. What if you knee someone? In self-defense, of course. And there's a frog on your knee. I don't know why that all went to violence. And there's nothing like learning a whole new craft just to hide frogs from people. I think this sounds like a wonderful use of my time. What I have for learning embroidery, the leftover of my sewing kit. I have bought £5 of embroidery thread online. / floss, I will find out. Yeah, it says embroidery floss, in fact, on the packet. So I have a set of embroidery hoops. I have some black cotton. Last but not least, the secret thing for the third technique. Now you may be asking what I meant by third technique. You see, there are 3 stages of embroidery I wanted to master. And then we have some needles which are definitely bigger than the other ones. And first colour, purple. I'm gonna use the first colour as well. I had to learn embroidery. The first was from this YouTuber. And then the first. We're doing it! A running stitch is really simple, it seems. Stitch width underneath, stitch width over top. If you've noticed, it's not very straight, so I need to be a bit more careful on following it. I was getting sassy because I was confident with my skill. Okay. So what we do, we're through, there's a stitch length beneath. Then to make it this line, instead of going here, we're gonna go here. I had to start with the basics, and the basics meant knowing the majority of stitches we could use in our designs. That meant I had to learn all 14 from this tutorial. And I got pretty cocky with myself. You go through and you just do 1 line stitch. Ta-da! Beautiful! Okay, this one's really intimidating, it's French knots. See, it's intimidating as the French! We loop over twice. I think I did that 3 times. Then we twist back. So see how this is kind of taut here? So that's... maybe... Okay, I think I got it. As long as I end up holding a thread, then I'm doing it right. If I'm not holding a thread, I'm doing it wrong. So we've had a struggle here and here, but that's fine. This is just this is the basic stuff, but we're getting there. And they look atrocious. Let's see, so we go from here. Not too bad. Okay, my fishbone is really bad. this is all the beginner stitches for that tutorial. Well, like, I'm definitely struggling with some. Not looking at you, Lazy Daisy and Fishbones. I was quite blissful in getting through the first level. I thought the second was gonna be just as easy. You know, all you have to do is concentrate. All you have to do is pay attention. It'd be fine, right? Ta-da! And now it's like a little petal, and then we go and do it again. So we go around again. All I had to do was just speed my way through the techniques, and then I could get to the main of the project.
Do it a couple of times. In front and twist, maybe? I'm trying, guys, I'm trying. Shit, I'm scared. Please. Well, I haven't done it properly. It's just got an extra little dot at the end instead of being a pure petal. Oh dear.
This is how it looks in the tutorial, like a really pretty flower, very gorgeous and such. Here's mine. Thing is, you can't master a skill in a day, and I'm finding that out very clearly. And detailing can save the flower. It's gone worse. It's gotten worse, guys. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to sew frogs, but hey, if I can make a circle look good and a flower look like shit, then we'll just avoid flowers. I'm sure we can make a frog just made of circles. I'm sure that's possible. This is the next one, which if that flower looks like that, this is not gonna look like that. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering your tutorial.
I haven't finished the stitch, but look, I'm doing witchcraft. I've done something terribly wrong if that's meant to flare out like petals.
Oh! Like that. Look how cute that is! I made like, oh my god, it's like a little spiral or a millipede.
How it's meant to look, and it's not looking like that.
We have an actual looking flower, which is more of an achievement than we have through everything else so far. This is level 1 embroidery, right? While I was having like slight difficulty with the fishbone and the lazy daisy, I thought I was doing pretty well. I thought I had a handle on embroidery. Well, I got to level 2. Let's be honest, some of this is a mess. I actually love this effect here, and I think we may actually use this for the frog. This is bad, but this is flower stuff. Padded stitch, I think, is going to be our main best friend. This circle here, where it's the crisscross underneath, definitely humbled me a lot.
And, okay, we've gotten to the third stage. We technically have a bit of an unboxing to do. If you haven't guessed already, this is a kit for embroidering with metal. I am so excited for doing this.
Oh, I am so excited. I have not seen... Do we have any spangles? We have spangles. If you want to know what spangles are, they are metal sequins. But I got spangles! How delightful is that word? That's what I was told once. I don't know if that's technically correct, but yeah. How do you look at this embroidery, how delicate is it and how tiny it is. And I already have to live up to that. Well, I can't even stitch a straight line at the moment. Okay, I'll explain to you why this embroidery is slightly more difficult. Normally with embroidery, you have a piece of fabric. Yes, this is fabric. Look how well I've drawn that. Principle of embroidery is going up and down through the fabric, and you create a pattern on top, right? Now this gold embroidery, which makes me really excited. You have a piece of fabric, you have your thread. Simple, right? Is you put the gold tubing, so you thread that through the thread, and then that comes down, so you basically have like tons of gold tubing on top. I've drawn a spaghetti monster. I'm done. I could have explained this way better. You will see. Now it just kind of looks like macaroni art. The main reason why this stresses me out a bit is not a solid tube. It is basically very, very thin wire, foiled. So controlling the shape of it is not going to be as easy as controlling the shape of the thread. And we've seen how bad I've been controlling thread. It's hoping this bends with the direction
you want. I may be panicking about this beforehand because this is what I'm guessing, but it might be easier. I honestly don't know. Anyway. We have them on the embroidery hoop. Not centered, but I've done the best I can. God, it's so shiny! I'm so happy. I'm sorry. It's shiny. I can't help it. Indeed, it was shiny. Very shiny. And that meant I had to start the project. The first was sewing wire onto a stem. How did we do this? Put the wire through the pattern and then secure it with thinner thread along the shape of the stem. It's a very controlled process and definitely was less intimidating than the concept of the coil. And you know, I think it turned out alright. Though I had to definitely slow down to actually get this precise. Okay, and if I don't fuck it up, let's just feed that through the top, closely to follow the line we've sewn in. We have our first stem done! Oh my god, I'm so happy. It's fine, I'm fine. I'm just panicking that I'm doing something right for once, and I think that's allowed. Obviously, after doing the stem, we had to do some detailing of the veins of the rest of the leaf, and that went alright, I guess. That's really weird. Having a positive outcome in this project throws me off sometimes. Okay, we have these darling little mother of pearl sequins. I don't know if you can see them. We now have the sequins on. I don't really have much more to say than I put sequins on and they're very pretty. That's intellectual commentary, right? Finished the majority of like the detailing work, and the hardest step I've now got to do. As you can see, all the spangles, all the sequins, so sequin, spangle, mother of pearl beads, which like this one is slightly off, but it's fine. And I've also done the feathering of the plants here, where it's taking one strand of the embroidery thread, just alternating it in different shapes, and then using a darker color just to sort of like fill in the base. What I need to do now in this section is going to be complicated, and I will let you know as I go along what panic I'm having. Maybe thinking, why is the camera not in focus? But this looks a little bit thick for thread. Actually going to use this as thread. We are going to use this as a tube and sew through the center of it. I can't see it. I can't. Oh my god, I need my eyes tested. Oh my god. Okay, I think that's too long. Okay, we got it through, but it's separated and not a tube anymore. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to probably... It says use a double thread, but maybe that just means a thread made up of two and not to double it. I swear this is made up on one thread. Oh god, I fucked this up royally. It looks a little better than it did earlier, but it's crinkly as heck. Sew that through there. So I was using this needle here. Now apparently there's two size 12s and two size 10s. I'm wondering if this is the size 10. It doesn't look bigger or smaller to me, but it feels lighter, so maybe this will fit better. Oh my god, please. It works so much better. Oh my god, that was the issue. I was using a needle that was too big. Okay. We have the frog's Pinterest board. I don't know where to start. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. I think I should just find a normal picture of a frog and then draw it and then go from there because, like, look at it. We now had all 3 levels of embroidery done. I was going to do a secret, like, start of the project, and I was like, I'm just going to do 1 piece of embroidery, and this little guy looks crap. I'm sorry, but to me this is really upsetting as a first attempt, so I think I'm going to have to look at design tips, because I think it's definitely, well, I like the concept of the character. I do like the back legs. It's about the only thing I like in it, because it's textured. I tried doing like a padded stitch with the rest, but it just did not turn out well. I wanted to start designing the frogs, the bulk of the project, the goal we wanted. And I was feeling very confident about it. That I was even going to start, I was going to do 1 sample piece, and then we will triumphantly sew all the rests, and that's definitely not how it went. Trying to fix a design is difficult. I wanted to try and see if any of it was salvageable. And one of the first pieces of advice I found was add an outline. So using a stem stitch, which I had previously used for the legs, I tried outlining this piece. So I unpacked all the threads. Look how satisfying, and organized them obviously, but like, look how satisfying. Cinematic shot with blur lens. Do we feel cinematic? Cinematic. Okay, I'm fine. I promise. I've just had like lots of caffeine and I'm trying to stay positive on this, okay? Maybe I have learned that maybe just doing stitching for like a week doesn't inherently give you all the skills that maybe people build up in like 5 years. Okay, so I think this is the one I'm going to try and adapt over here, because some of them, like this one, I could do more interesting designs on and split up really easily, but I need to work out how to fill color efficiently, so I'm going to start with this one, or the shading I've got to learn. Yes, I was gonna give another frog another go. I had watched tips and I wanted to design it really carefully using watercolor brushes, as I felt having something too definitive would cause issues. I wanted it to feel more painterly. One of the first tips I got was to sew the outline first, to work out and plan physically on the fabric where everything is going. I know that sounds simple. I just thought drawing on fabric was originally enough. I'm feeling happier about this. I've basically just done the swirl patterns to work out where the energy or like the paint strokes are, I guess. I was discussing with myself, I guess, if I wanted to put this line stripe in here, which is that stripe there, but I think a 3D-ness in the end of that would be better, so I'm going to leave that and I'm gonna slowly start filling it in. I think this could really mess this up, but hey, I'm probably gonna start with the darkest area and fill that out first. So we have, the frog is basically done. All I want to do is put some spots on here. It looks worse on camera than it is in person, so I'll get some like beauty shots done to convince you that maybe it does actually look good. At this for a while now, but... So, first one. Crappy frog. This was my first attempt.
Aww, so pretty.
And then this is the one I've just finished.
Oh my god, that's adorable. I love like the swirling. That's so cute. That's lovely stuff, that.
Lovely stuff, that. We are done with the frog. I'm going to, the last bit I'm going to do is I am going to put the border around the back at least. To turn it into the patch, what I've seen is I've got some fabric glue and I've got to cover the back. This is the really stressful bit. All the tutorials I've watched, none of it is consistent. This is why a lot of people do it directly onto the fabric that they're going to be doing it on rather than patching it, but it's fine, we will work it out.
It smells so strong.
We're just gonna let it dry now. I've done my best to like make sure it's like a really, really thin coat and all the loose backing threads are glued down. And then I have to start designing the next patch. The next patch was going to be a set of 3 that were going to be intentionally designed together to hopefully be a consistent picture. Okay, and I think these are the colors we're going to use. I mean, this is a little bit too warm for my liking, but what I'm going to do is there's these different types of fill stitches, and each frog I am going to do with a different fill stitch. The first one I want to do is the chain stitch, which is chain stitch number 3. So that one. And that's going to be this guy. The second frog is this one. And then that one I'm going to try that one or the French knot there. The last one I want to do with a long and short stitch. I'm trying to start simple with just like different techniques rather than like trying to do raised and everything else. So I'm going to take it slowly. So I do have a bit of a worry. I've used like 3 colors in here. I've used like a cream, I used a blue and a gray. I have started the second one, which I'm doing with small knots, which is the... But look how fluffy he is! So I do really like the look of the swirl and the shading. Looking at this section here, and this section here, and what I've started doing, and I noticed I've started paying more attention on this section anyway to the tension of the thread. Tension. Anyway, here it looks a little bit messy at the start, and that's because I was just pulling it tight. I wasn't really caring about the evenness of the tension, but here I'm really trying to do that, and it already looks a lot smarter just doing this one half of this stitch. So I'm really pleased about that. I think that looks really good. And I pulled Burning Spice, so the day is good. I don't think these are as good in any way as the first one. But to be fair, these guys are smaller and meant to be trying different techniques. He is my favorite out of the lot. They're not the best, but I think as a trio, they kind of work because I'm meant to have like, I'm going to have, once they're on the clothing, they're going to have like plants and stuff go up over them. Yeah, Frog Boy's done. Next one I want to do an evil frog, right? And I want to do a particular stitch. That's the stitch I want to do with the evil frog, but I need to work out like where the center's gonna be. Down at the bottom, I was thinking of originally to uncomplicate it, but I don't like that. I think roughly about here is where we want the center. Just before I go too further, this is what I've got. I mean, obviously you can see there's little bit gaps where the weaving hasn't quite sort of got as clean as it should have. There, for example, there's a gap there and there's a gap there where I accidentally went through the thread. But I can fill those up by like quite literally just taking the thread and sewing. And we're getting to the eyes, so I want a closer pattern here. So I'm going to go down to like maybe 2 threads so we see less green and hopefully around that. I think it's looking fun for, you know, Miss Your Evil Frog. But yeah, what do you think, Margaret? Margaret doesn't care about Evil Frog. Maybe when it's done, she will care. At the moment, she's got some roast pork and quite enjoying it. Auntie Margaret! Maybe she doesn't know her name. To be fair, she does walk into walls quite often. So yes, Evil Frog, continue. Basically, we have the frog, we need to do the evil moustache, the eyes, and the hat. The issue is I can't see where the eyes are like this, and neither where the moustache or the mouth is, and I'm not so sure what colours, because I can't have a black hat on a black background, that'd be silly. bouillon stitch. It's the one where you loop around the needle. We have like a 3D moustache. It's not the cleanest in the world because you can see that's a stitch there, that's a stitch there, that's a stitch there. But I think it's like 3D enough to see that it kind of stands out, and I like the aggressiveness. I also really like how the moustache gets bigger at the end, but that's just because I fucked it up. But hey, we now have to try and make a matching side, which I'm lucky that it's this neat with the amount of mistakes I've made. I might have been doing it wrong the whole time. That stitch is the only correct stitch I've done of attempting this, which look how much cleaner that is. Like that, I forgot that I was meant to leave the needle on the fabric, so I was doing it very, very poorly. And I was basically winding it from the end this side instead of like towards the end, which is why I was having trouble pulling it through, if that makes sense. Okay, so we are done with the gentleman frog. I'm still not too fond of his eyes. I'm definitely still struggling with the frog's eyes, but I'm gonna start by clearing up this mess and organizing it into colors again, and maybe hopefully having something organized and clean will make my mind happy again, and then maybe that means I will get a fresh start and feel good, and yeah. So I have this frog. This is just not necessarily the design I'm going to do. This is just so I can get my confidence back, and it's just going to be a black and white line thing. Looking back on the work I did, I don't think it was actually that bad, but I definitely needed to get my confidence back. I felt like the other pieces were messy, uncoordinated, or just not as clear as I wanted to communicate, not as good as that first piece after I got some advice. So I needed to do something which was just fun, which was simple, and this was my solution. I am happy. It's not the best in the world, and one eye's definitely like darker than the other, and I'm not so sure about like the highlights and everything, but I am pleased. He looks good. He looks good. I was gonna like join the mouth, but I think he looks really derpy, so I do like that. I did notice a couple of things while doing this. So I noticed these lines look a lot smoother than the other lines I've done, and that's because to keep them straight, I'm kind of trying to follow the line of the fabric, which helped a lot. So it's time to start basically really designing the frog I want to focus on. What am I gonna do for my final frog embroidery? Well, it's a simple design. I can't focus on it. A simple design, which I'm probably gonna have to color grade because the lighting in here is horrendous at the moment. I was going in between these two little froggy doos, and I think I'm gonna go for this chap. And you wonder why there's dots around there? There is one thing I want to do, and it requires more felt. Now you may be thinking, why does it require more felt? Well, I want to do something that has been bugging me throughout this. And what's been bugging me throughout this is basically the lack of depth. Now there's some embroidery, you know, I tried the padded stitch right at the beginning, which didn't work. There's other ways you can do it by layering felt, basically each section, on top. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do. It's going to basically be a very basic thing of satin stitching over the top of different sections. Also, what's quite funny to me is I was scrolling through TikTok this morning, and there was quite literally just an easy tip to improve embroidery, right? Because if you're doing a satin stitch, which you know I've done several times and I've disliked several times because I haven't thought it looks clean and you can see where the threads end and such. Well, the way they get around that is you separate all the threads and then you put them back together again so it's not twisted around. That's good advice. Why was that not on my feed earlier? It's fine, it's fine. I'm just... Okay, maybe I didn't think forward of transferring this onto this, but I'm gonna just try my best to do it by eye. it fit? I somehow made it smaller. How did I make it smaller than the sketch? How did I do that? The thing is, normally I would sit there and go like, hey, let's make this a bit more 3D, right? Let's add more layers on there. Let's make the eyeballs pop and the feet bigger and everything. I'm not going to do that. The idea is to keep it simple and make it look good. I'm not going to be overly ambitious because I don't have that skill level yet. I need to restrain myself. I am sorry. I'm trying to convince myself, yes, this is the right thing I'm doing. Keeping it simple. I mean, look at he looks happy at the moment and I don't want to ruin that. Attaching the felt wasn't actually too hard. I would have liked it to appeared more 3D than what I've got because I've seen some examples of beautiful work. Later on, I found out the 3D work I was looking at was called stump work, which is a whole different craft of embroidery if you look at it that way. But to be honest, while I still think this didn't turn out the best, I was happy it looked good and it gave me more confidence. Which meant we could slowly start to actually do the true goal of this video, which is attach it to an outfit to make it look fancier. I'm not really happy about this foot, but I'm happy about these toes. I think I accidentally did a type of stitch there, which I failed in practice, so that's interesting. This is meant to be more subtle planes of colour, but it definitely looks like long stitches, and I'm definitely going to have to get green more around his face, and I'm still not happy with this eye. Okay, I think we're just about done. What I would like to do is go back and just darken the lip. And what I mean by outlining is I don't want to do like a thick stitch around the edge. I want to almost do an invisible thing where the depth is. So I want to just do it round here instead of being visual on top, if that makes sense. That probably is a bit silly sounding, but hey. Frog's on something.
This side. Yeah.
It's actually the abstract art piece. I'm doing a contemporary piece that only the backs will show, right? I feel there should be a contemporary exhibition for that.
Yeah, probably.
Of just the back of embroideries and be like, this is actually the more meaningful side because this is the work.
He's so pretty.
I feel like he's got no chin.
I feel like frogs don't really have prominent chins.
You just get a needle.
I haven't got the
Get
patience.
a needle and a yeah, I know. Well, I got to do 3 others. This is what we have to do for clear up afterwards. So
I didn't do anything.
you walked in here
To tell you about the chickens.
Yes, and now you are.
I was kind to you.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I've taken advantage of your kindness. We need to glue it. Someone should have warned me that the glue smells as bad as like model glue. It's really, really bad. I'm gonna sit outside for a minute. It's bad. You know, the one thing you shouldn't do when holding fabric glue is run your fingers through your hair.
Are you okay?
I have a chunk of fabric glue that I'm going to try and get out in a second. It's fine. It's fine, right? It's fine?
Sorry, it just looks gross.
Yes, it does!
I just got a bit out.
You are nice.
I am. I love hug.
Okay. Frogs! Patches. I have patches. I'm just reinforcing the sides, not the best reinforcer of the sides, but I'm getting there. As some of them I'm just gonna have to go over and do again because the fabric's fraying a bit. But for example, that one's a massive mess on the floor
It's fine.
You may be asking, why am I not plugging the sewing machine in to adjust this? Well, because it's denim and we have a nice thick seam to go through, I'm gonna be rolling it by hand because this is not a denim needle and this is the only needle I have on this machine, so it's fine. We were putting together the outfit first. That meant though I had to adjust the waistcoat. And within the last push meant we had to work out the placement.
So I really like this layout. We have the little guy hiding in the pocket. My only problem is this guy. So I like the placement here in theory, but the issue is every time I sit down, he will crease and eventually the wear will be really bad. My issue is we have a couple more to go, which are these ones, which will go on the back. This guy is staying on a sock and I just need to pin it in.
Though I don't have footage of me sewing the patches on, I'm just gonna let you know it was horrible, but they were on, and that meant finishing touches were needed.
Okay, so this is the before. This is the before. Wait, stay. Before. Oh my god, it's still not a good angle. Okay, before. Frog. We have frogs. At the moment we have light greys, blue, green, and then these guys are more green. So what I need to do is basically try and make it more coherent, and the idea is that we're gonna just do some little stitching up here. That's the plan. I'm not playing Cookie Run in the corner. I would never do that. You just need to understand. And I need the millennial tree costume. It's a whole thing, okay? Okay. Oh god. Okay, that's the back of the waistcoat. That's the front. Like, if I was gonna do this again, I would definitely put like him up here, but I can bend my leg without him bending, which is, I guess, the main important thing. I don't think it works together very well. Frog, you ready? Frog! Spin. And you ready? You ready for this? You ready for this? Frog! I just flash people with a frog on the sock. Now, do I think I've become a master embroiderer? No way. The things I have learned is, 1, there is a reason it takes a lifetime to learn a skill. 2, I was overestimating the amount of time it took, and 3, like, the amount of learning, because you may do a stitch and you're like, hey, I've done the stitch, I followed the tutorial, I can't say that word. You may have done the tutorial, but like you need to learn it through repetitive motion. 4 things I learned. Designing it is completely different to doing it. Like, I don't think I improved my embroidery designing skills, because I think I kind of defaulted back to the second thing I did. But that being said, I'm happy I was able to make something out of it, which is more than I can say for a lot of my projects. And what I can say is I went out and got some books, the Stitch Bank, bead embroidery, which I want to do at some point, flat white, and book of embroidery. I have been inspired to learn more, and I wonder what the future holds. Hopefully more frogs.